pictures, and so I was pretty proud of myself to take pictures, email it to her, to my second grader, which I didn't know until Monday she had an email address, and then on a Google Chromebook, which I've never used, and then pull it into Google Classroom, and then post it, and then turn it into a teacher. So that's a lot for an 8-year-old, I think.
She's smart as a whip, and I guarantee you she's the one who did all the work.
Well, I was going to call Joe, get him to help, but
I'm helpless. I'm helpless. I'd have tried, but we might not have got it done.
It was touch and go there for a while, I can promise you.
Very frustrating.
Hey, with 2 minutes to spare, I've got everything set up. We are live on YouTube, and I've even got the flag up and ready to go. I just have to hit share screen.
Are we expecting Carol?
I hadn't heard anything from her, so I would expect her to be here. It's kind of funny. Since we started doing these Zooms, Brent's actually here, normally the first one here. I know, I'm shocked too. And Carol's now the one that's coming in at the last moment.
Well, since Brent's a teacher now, we need to give him a little more respect than what we usually do. So
yeah.
It's still Brent.
Sir would be okay.
I'm doing all I can for you, Brent.
Well, he obviously has a lot of IT expertise.
No, and I'm not going to appear on the show Are You Smarter Than a Second Grader? I can tell you that.
Well, I just heard my first thunder, so I was hopeful that we would get through this meeting without having lightning in the area, because I sometimes get kicked off of Zoom with lightning.
It's moving through quick because it's pretty much quit raining here now.
It's quit raining here too.
So, and it is 1:30. So Wayne, if you want to go ahead and call us to order.
All right, I'd like to call the McCracken County Planning Commission to order, please. If Mr. Cannon will display the flag, we'll have our pledge.
There you go.
Allegiance to the flag of the time of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I forgot to mute that one. Sorry about that. All right. Do you have a update for us, Mr. Cannon?
Yeah. Same as what we've had for a year and a half. We're still waiting on paperwork for Tiana Estates for the roads. I have been told that instead of getting the paperwork for the roads, that's probably going to come back through as a resubmittal either in September or October. Instead of doing the single family subdivision that you all approved, they have now changed their mind. They want to do duplexes or townhouses, something along those lines, which with the change in the zoning ordinance about what's permitted in an industrial zone, that would bring it into compliance with the way the zoning ordinance is currently written. So we'll have that coming. But that's the only thing we've got left sitting out there.
All right, do we have a motion? I say, do we have a motion?
We're on the finding of facts for,
Oh, excuse me. I've lost my agenda on the other laptop, sorry.
okay. Yeah, so I guess if somebody wants to make a motion to accept the findings of facts.
I move to accept the exhibits and adopt the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and recommendations presented. Is this the one that we're supposed to be doing? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Presented at the July 22nd, 2020 public hearing regarding.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Call roll, Mr. Cannon.
Commissioner Hausman,
Aye.
Commissioner Metzger,
Aye.
Commissioner Rankin,
Aye.
Chair Elliott.
Aye. So I guess we're ready for the next item of business. Motion.
Yeah,
I move this commission receive and file the applications for the proposed subdivisions of property filed by Eric and Amanda Alexander, Philip and Molly Hunt, Paducah RV Park and Campground, Donald Steve and Jackie Payton, Christopher and Crystal Moore, Jimmy Pye Harded.
Second.
Call roll, please.
Commissioner Hausman,
Aye.
Commissioner Metzger,
Aye.
Commissioner Rankin,
Aye.
Chair Elliott.
Aye. Are you presenting all of them today, Greg, or?
Yeah, Rick's on here if we have anything come up with any of his, but I will, for the most part, handle the presentation here. Let me turn screen share back on. So the first one you see here is the waiver for the Alexanders and the Hunts. This lot there is a ditch that runs through track C, and it bisects the property. So they are doing an even swap for the total amount of ground from the Hunts to the Alexanders. So this way the Hunts have everything on one side of the creek and the Alexanders have everything on the other side of the creek. And this has been reviewed, everything's in order and acceptable. It's the staff's recommendation, this plat be approved.
All right, I guess we're ready for the next one.
Okay. Let's see here. This is Paducah RV Park. This was formerly known as Victory RV Park. It's under new ownership, and the lot is split into two halves. And there's a utility easement running down the middle. We are abolishing that interior lot line and that utility easement running through there. That way, as they develop behind the current lots, they don't have to worry about that property line and the easements. They got more room to develop. And as you can see, the utility companies have already signed off on it. And we've reviewed this, everything's in order and acceptable, and we recommend this be approved.
Hey, Greg, you told me the other day that there was a variance granted on this property on that building line on the setback along the Timwell Lane. Is that variant of record somewhere?
Well, that's going back to 07, and the records from back then are spotty at best.
Yeah, I realize that, and that's what made me wonder if this would be a good time to put that of record You know, if it wasn't done properly back then, we can still fix that now. You know, because as I told you the other day, normally there'd be a 75-foot setback, and right now it shows 30 feet, and somebody that goes to develop this property is probably going to assume that that 30-foot line is accurate. And, you know, it would be nice to have that, that variance recorded somewhere so that it confirms that that is the true setback.
With the way the minutes are from back then, I can't say that with 100% certainty. I know that Judge Newberry signed off on it, and they were issued the building permits and allowed to go. But to be able to say a meeting was held at this date and with this approval, I can't do that. So I'd have a hard time filing a land use restriction form today stating that was in place, unless we went through the process now.
Right.
But I firmly believe that they did go through the process and it was granted. But was it the right process? It was the process used back in 2007.
Well, I don't know what they plan on doing out there on that property.
Well, most of it, where it says track 5 and 6 combined, they are looking at adding some rustic cabins back there, little one-room cabins for rustic camping. The owners plan on building a house back there behind the current parking area. There is plans for a groundskeeper's cabin that actually would be residential, but it's going to be closer. It's around that 75-foot mark that they have for that, because they've showed me their plans, but I don't have anything formal yet. I know what their dreams are.
Yeah, it would certainly be a lot cleaner and neater if they would keep everything 75 feet back, since we don't have a definite variance of record somewhere.
Yeah. So I know there's nothing planned any closer to the road than what is already there. Everything is behind
There, we can't see that from the plat, so I don't know. You know, other than those buildings that are out there that violate the setback.
Yeah. So, well, and at this point, those buildings are grandfathered in because they've been out there since 2007.
So why are they grandfathered in? They wouldn't be grandfathered in.
Well, they've been there for more than 10 years continuous, and if
but
a building permit,
10 years doesn't grandfather them in McCracken County.
so.
Well, if Rick is still on, maybe he can answer some of these questions, but is he still on?
Hey, Sonny.
Hey, Rick.
This property was developed, as you know, back in 2007 when the plans was developed for this. And the development plan was issued using residential setbacks, as you see what's on this plat now.
Right.
And the buildings were placed in accordance to that 30-foot road setback. And I don't know why. I question that myself, why it was residential instead of non-residential setbacks. But that's what was approved, and that's what the development plan showed. These buildings that you see existing on here now were proposed at that point in time, and they were proposed for these locations based on those setbacks for the residential use.
Yeah.
The proposed development going forward, as Greg said, there is everything that the current owners is planning would fall in line with non-residential setbacks, with the exception of the caretaker's cabin, which would be located up in the north. Let me get my north here. Yeah, northwest corner of the property.
Okay.
And it's 50 foot back off of the right of way where it's proposed, but I don't think they would have a problem with, scooting it over to a point where it would accommodate the 75-foot setback. That's the only thing that they've got proposed that would be contrary to those more restrictive setbacks. But to answer your question, why it went through like this, I have no idea. It wasn't our project back then.
Okay.
That's
Well,
how it got approved.
Yeah, I mean, if they could actually move that one back to meet that 75 foot, that would eliminate any heartburn.
The buildings that you see on here now are existing structures. They're in place and have been since 2007, 2008.
Yeah, even though they probably are a violation, they're not of great consequence. Not like putting a house or larger building out there on the property, but
And actually, the caretaker's cabin would be a residential structure for residential use. So,
well, that's true. Yes, it would be.
I think that one could get by with just the residential setbacks.
I'm not sure that applies to the structure so much as it is the overall use of the property. I haven't had that question to come up, but that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head.
So,
But if they could move it back to 75 feet, that would be even better. We wouldn't have to worry about it.
and with where they got it planned, they've got enough room. I think they can do that with no issue.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a lot of heartburn for the client.
Okay.
Pretty easy to work with. I mean, if we ask her to move the caretaker's cabin 25 feet, I can't imagine her arguing with that.
Yeah. Well, it's a huge piece of property, unless there's a topographical issue out there in the.
Yeah, the back, at least the back third is in the floodplain.
Okay.
Because if you notice, the property to the north is McCracken County Fiscal Court property.
Right.
Because that was bought under one of the FEMA buyouts because it flooded. So we've got ground to the north of it that we can't do anything with because of the restrictions involving that buyout program. So that they are somewhat limited, but they've still got a lot of ground to work with.
Okay. Well, Rick, just pass that along to them. If they're agreeable to moving that back to the 75-foot line, that would be better, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I can talk to them about it.
Okay.
I guess moving on to the next item now.
Real quick on that, Wayne, before we move on, Sonny, are you
All right.
you okay with a conditional approval on this? Or do we need to pull that one out?
No, I really don't want to pull it out. Yeah, conditional approval, I think would be fine.
Okay, good deal.
Okay. Here's our next one. Let's see here.
Peyton,
Yeah, Peyton, we are cutting out a little over a 1 acre tract there. They've got about 28 acres remaining. So there's an acre and a half there, right there on Mayfield Metropolis Road. So, this has been reviewed. Everything's in order and acceptable. We recommend it be approved.
no questions or comments. Let's move on then to the Moore.
Okay. On Moore, you've got, let me blow this one up a little bit. And there we go. We're creating track A and track B. This was previously 4 separate lots that are being combined into 2 lots now. So you've got a roughly 1.4 acres for track B. You got roughly 2.7 for track A. Track A has already got a house and barn on it. You've got some utility easements that are going to remain with it, that it runs parallel to Libby Lane going through track A. Anybody have any questions?
I guess we'll move on to Hartley.
Okay. This one here, he is cutting out a 2.36 acre tract of land out of close to 26 acres remaining. There is an easement, 30-foot easement off of Hinkleville Road to serve track 1. So this has been reviewed, everything's in order and acceptable, and we recommend it be approved.
Well, I guess do we have a motion?
I move that the requested approval be given.
Do we have a second?
Is that
Call
there?
roll, please.
Okay. Commissioner Hasman,
Aye.
Commissioner Metzger,
Aye.
Commissioner Rankin.
Aye.
And Chair Elliott.
I guess to catch us back up before I had my agenda pulled up, the subject of the minutes. If no one has any corrections or changes, they will stand as delivered to us. All right, so.
Also, Mr. Chairman, before you go on, we had a conditional approval on that Paducah RV Park and Campground. So we probably need to amend that motion or motion that be subject to future construction complying with the 70 setback.
Yeah, cut the internet out.
Is he trying to say something?
I don't know if we lost Greg or not.
Greg, are you still there? Oh, he's on the phone. Hello,
Yeah.
Greg.
Tony, I will amend my motion to include that. I should
All
have
right,
done.
we'll just wait as is. But the good news is your Paducah Power down there, not Jackson Purchase. So, all right, we'll probably put ourselves on overtime then. All right. All right, the courthouse has lost power. So,
You seem like you have a little satisfaction in that.
well, not near as much as one night at a Lonoc High School basketball game when a transformer burned out outside the school and the game come to a stop. I sure as hell was very happy that Paducah Power furnished the power to Lonoc High School at that time.
Everybody in there pointing at Wayne.
Now, a few people asked me, and and as soon as they heard me answer, I wasn't criticized any of them. And I was way down in there, all about three rows off the floor, so I would have had a hard time getting out of there.
Okay, guys, I made it back in. I'm on my cell phone now. Amazingly, it says we're still live on YouTube, so that's good. The Zoom link is clearly still up, so we are under Daniel Cameron's interpretation. We are good to continue with our meeting.
Greg, I'm going to go back and amend my motion that I made previously, subject to the contingent upon the change in that property that we had discussed.
At Paducah RV Park.
That they follow the non-residential setbacks.
Yes.
That's correct.
All right, I guess we need a second to the amendment.
Second.
Call the roll. All right, thank you, Joe. Call the roll on this matter.
Hold on, I'm having to make notes here.
All right.
Thank you for pointing that out, Tony.
Okay. Commissioner Hausman,
Aye.
Commissioner Metzger,
Aye.
Commissioner Rankin, Chair Elliott.
Okay.
So I guess we're,
Well, the person that normally pays the bills isn't here today.
Well, we still have one more. We've got a subdivision revision for Ridge Run Phase 2 at Lake Forest. So, on this one, let me actually get my plat out. There's not
I
a
couldn't
lot.
tell what was being changed just looking at that plat.
Yeah, there's there on the first block of lots on the left, they're doing some minor revisions here. On mine, I've gone through and made all the notes. Like initially there was 2 lots L95 and 1 L96. So 3 lots total. They're now making that into a total of 2 lots instead of 3. Lot 98, it was 0.526 acres. It's now going to be 0.513. L99 was 0.484. It's now going to be 0.428. And then it's basically like that all along Falling Brook Drive. Lot P41, P40, P39 is staying the same. P38 is changing. P37, P36, and P35, and they're all changing like hundredths of an acre. It's not a lot of change at all. The biggest, like I said, the biggest thing there on the top left, that there was previously 3 lots, it's now going to be 2 instead. So if anything, I think that would be an improvement. That means you've only got 2 houses potentially going in instead of 3. So one less house worth of traffic going through. So, but we've reviewed it and we're fine with this and recommend it be approved.
All right, so you're giving the presentation and the staff report there one time, right?
Yeah.
All right, do we have a motion?
I move to approve the plat of revision for Ridge Run Phase 2 located at the Lake Forest at Rolling Hills.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Call roll, please.
Commissioner Hausman,
Aye.
Commissioner Metzger,
Aye.
Commissioner Rankin,
Aye.
and Chair Elliott.
I guess Sonny and his legal firm is our next item of business.
In Carol's absence, I move to either table, well, I guess we'll go ahead and pay the bills as distributed to McMurray Livingston for $2,327.50.
Don't let him intimidate you there. If tabling it's what you want to do. I mean, you're the voting commissioner. You have that right.
Out of respect for Carol, I don't know that anybody.
My grandkids appreciate that motion.
You know, this
Fighting dirty.
is a teaching moment, Brent. You could use this to show how democracy really works in the classroom here. Now, you realize,
Actually, right. Out of respect for Carol, I don't know if anybody should make that motion except her. I mean, I just automatically roll over to next month.
That was my thought, but I don't know.
All right, let's move on.
do we have a weak second?
I second it.
Call roll, please.
Commissioner Hausman,
Aye.
Commissioner Metzger,
Aye.
Commissioner Rankin,
Aye.
Chair Elliott.
All right. I don't believe we have any other business. So I guess we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We
Second.
have a second.
Third.
Call roll, please.
Commissioner Hausman,
Aye.
Commissioner Metzger,
Aye.
Commissioner Rankin,
Aye.
and Chair Elliott.
Aye.
Okay, you all have a good day, and Wayne, I'll give you a call here in a little bit about coming out and getting
Well,
these
I'll
plaques
tell you
signed.
what, since it's rained, I may take a nap. Just call me when you get here or a few minutes before you get here and I'll be ready for you.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
no need-
I'll see you,
no need-
see you probably see you about 30 minutes.
All right. I may still wait for that then. All right. I'll see you then.
Okay, see you.